filming, and the show lost ratings, and the show was going on for about a year, and people didn't realize the show wasn't even still on air. This is going to be funny, y'all. Check this out. So, a reality TV show dropped contestants in the wilderness for a year, but doesn't tell them that the show is canceled. So after a year spent in the isolation of the Scottish wilderness, the contestants of Channel 4's Eden have returned to civilization, where they found out what the producers were hiding from them. The reality show said they spent a year filming. Here's the key. 1 year filming, and one year filming, they canceled after only 4 episodes. Ratings slipped from 1.7 million to 800,000, causing Channel 4 to pull the plug on future episodes. In March of 2016, filming began, and 23 strangers were placed in a remote, walled-off estate in the Scottish Highlands, where they were tasked with building a society from scratch, growing food, tending livestock, and making their own laws, were all a part of the experience. Hell, that sounds like living in the damn hood. That should have been a reality show. But anyway, and yeah, so the Highlands were they were tasked with building a society from scratch, and in doing so, all that was going on, there was some sexual jealousy, infighting, lack of food, caused a reported 13 of the 23 contestants to leave the show, though Channel 4 would not confirm the dropouts. In a statement, Channel 4 said the appeal of Eden is that it was a real experiment, and when filming began, we had no idea that what the results would be and how those taking part would react to being isolated for months in a remote part of the British Isles. That's why we did it, and the story of their time, including the highs and lows, will be shown later this year. So that's crazy. These people were on a remote island filming for a reality show, and in the middle of that, basically the show was canceled. I'd be pissed like hell if I was doing a show, ain't nobody seeing me on TV, nothing going on. You just out there struggling for no reason. Yeah, that's crazy. But I could only imagine. I'm sure they still got paid. Some of these reality stars, TV shows, they still get a budget. But if they didn't get paid, yeah, jokes on them. But let's get into some tech news. Something funny. Something techie, but funny, interesting. So, for those who bank with Wells Fargo, shout out to Wells Fargo. I definitely am a Wells Fargo customer and been with them for a while, since they were Wachovia. And so Wells Fargo introduces, I wish I had a drum roll. They introduced cardless ATMs across the country. You should have seen this coming a mile away. Wells Fargo is introducing new technology that will allow smartphone using customers to withdraw money at an ATM without inserting their debit card. Customers wishing to use the service will receive an 8-digit code from the bank's mobile app. Customers then input the code and their ATM PIN to access ATM options. Later this year, Wells Fargo also plans to introduce a tap and pay ATM access service that uses near-field communication technology to use the service. Users can go onto one of several mobile wallet apps, Wells Fargo app, Apple Pay, etc., and hold the phone near an NFC-enabled ATM before inputting their ATM PIN number. And quote from Wells Fargo, "We believe the future is cardless," says Brett Pitts, the company's head of digital for virtual channels. Do I think this is foolproof? To an extent. But yeah, I hope if you're an iPhone user like me as well, you have Apple Pay and you have to use your fingerprint too. Let's just hope that people don't get into cutting people's hands off and fingertips to access these ATM cards. Like for real. I don't get that. That's gonna be interesting. But I think it's kind of I think it's kind of cool, man. I think it's cool how technology is slowly being fed to us. A lot of it's been, being used for years through the military and other trial bases. But this is something interesting that we should look forward to. Cardless ATMs. Wow. But you should have seen that coming, because a lot of, these, if you got Apple Pay, that's a virtual card and you can use it and tap and go. So I bet you all don't know what the first company was to use that, though. And I give you a clue. And I'm going to give you a clue. How about I do this? If you can tell me the first company that used the tap and go system for wireless or cardless payments, or using your card to pay as a tap and go instead of having to swipe, call in 404-641-9606, and I'm giving away a $25 gift card that you can use at your expense. If you can name me the first company that was using this. It's very interesting, very simple. Some people use them every day, and it was really big in like the early 2000s. And if you can remember that, I give you a $25 gift card, courtesy of the Man Cave Show, Simply United Radio. All right, and let's get into some other news. Got an interesting story. So, for those I was big on this last week, I was listening to the news, and I thought it was pretty dope. There was an auction last week for the on Tupac's estate. Well, not his estate, but the handwritten lyrics for Dear Mama, and I think they sold for like 25,000, maybe more. And so now the estate of Afeni Shakur is suing over the auction for his possessions. Whew, this sounds like this is gonna be ugly. Let's see. The battle over Tupac belongings just went from the auction house to the courthouse as the rapper's estate prepares for his induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The estate of, and let me get on that. For those who don't know, Tupac is finally being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that's a pretty cool honor. Kudos to the Shakur family. But let me ask you this: why we don't have a hip hop Hall of Fame? Let you think on that for a second. Now, I ain't trying to make everything a black and white issue, but one, black people created rock and roll. The great Chuck Berry, that just passed, the originator, invented rock and roll. But anyway, Tupac was going to be recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I believe, this summer. And so the estate of his mother, Afeni Shakur, is fighting to secure his prized possessions. Recently, the car that Shakur was gunned down in, along with the handwritten lyrics of one of the rapper's classic tunes, were auctioned and sold, sparking outrage among fans and members of the estate. However, according to TMZ, Afeni's estate is suing the repossessors Shakur's passport, his driver license, his clothes, his jewelry, and the handwritten lyrics to his most beloved records. Wow, that's crazy. They'll sell anything. That's crazy how they just gonna sell his clothes. Wow, his driver license? That's too much. But anyway, the attorney for the estate is going toe-to-toe with the Moments in the Time Auctions House, which is responsible for passing off Shakur's 5-page prison letter to a former Death Row employee, the handwritten lyrics to Dear Mama, as well as 3 notebooks owned by the rapper. In addition to the auction house, the estate has filed suits against 2 individuals who currently have the items in their possessions. Now that's crazy how they were allowed to sell it, and now the families or the estate is trying to sue. So in the suit, the estate is arguing that the items were bought from third parties who do not own the memorabilia. That explains. Thus has no right to sell. The suit also claims that the state has reached out to the involved parties, informing them of their wrongdoing, but have been ignored. So, I'm confused at how somebody unwillingly, who really didn't know how the items were received or whatever, but went to a public auction or even a private auction and purchased these items honestly. And now they're saying that they're getting. That's a touchy subject, but I definitely would not like to be a part of that. That's going to be a messy situation. But so we're in the 9 o'clock hour, and we're definitely going to get involved into our topic for tonight. And the topic for tonight is a simple one, but an interesting one. And we're going to cut to a song in a little bit, but I want to get you all thinking. And the song is really about the song. I'm sorry. The topic is going to be about dealing with people who are biracial, and being biracial, are they ashamed to, and specifically those who are half white, are they ashamed to say that nowadays with so much pro-black liberation going around and so much black injustices going around, etc.? And on the flip side of that, if you happen to fall in love with someone and who is half white or vice versa, half black, does that still qualify for black love? And can you be more serious about black liberations while dating outside your race? Now, that's something we're going to be talking about in a few, right here on the Man Cave Show, Simply United Radio. So right now we're going to get into, and I want to get into this actually. I think this is a song right here. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait before I send this, before I play this song, my old school song of the day. But it's going to be coming up shortly. But like I said, phone lines are open, 44641-9606, right here on the Man Cave Show, Simply United Radio. And one of my favorite songs, one of my new favorite songs, is from the son of Fela Kuti, and the name of the song is Black Man Know Yourself, right here on the Man Cave Show, Simply United Radio.